Imagine a coffee table that doubles up as a digital media center of your home. Well, you can stop imagining it because it exists, and it's called MISTO. MISTO is HP's prototype touchscreen-enabled Surface computer. Created 8 years ago, MISTO was a prototype for Microsoft's Surface, which you might be able to get sometime next year. Let's see how a coffee table computer can make our lives a little easier.
Now, let me show you how this can work. First of all, I'm going to take a photo of you two. So Brian, Felicia, please smile. You're as famous now as ever was. I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Now, most people can take this camera, put it onto a printer, print it out, or pull the memory card, plug it into a PC, and manipulate it. But why does it have to be that many steps? Why can't it be simple that it will communicate seamlessly to other appliances? And this is what the ITU Home Grid Network's all about, creating simple environments. I took your photo before. It's in the camera still. This camera has RFID and Wi-Fi built into it. Likewise, my coffee table has 2 RFID readers in it. I can place this camera onto the surface here. The first job of the RFID interface is to verify that this camera is authorized to open up the application. Once it's done that, the application will open. I now can actually communicate with this camera. Remember, your photo's in here somewhere. Let's have a look. So what I can actually do now is ask it to load content. Now I can actually get my PDA, my notebook, my camera phone, or my device, place it onto the surface on my coffee table. It automatically connects to the memory card and transfers all that content directly into the actual coffee table. What have I done? I've just made it much more simpler to start to transfer content around the home. The reason is because we're using standards. And these standards allow us to push content from one location to another. There's no cable here, no software, no pairing. Very simple. Drag and drop, place to place, and away it goes. From that, I've got all the content from my camera onto the actual coffee table surface. There's not a lot of content here because there's only a camera phone, a camera itself. I can actually play music. I can actually bring up pictures of koi, in this case, fish. I can actually stretch that, enlarge it. I can actually even rotate it. So the whole idea is actually I'm just gesturing here. I'm not actually physically doing anything else or using a keyboard or mouse. I'm just simply gesturing with the experience. So that's the thing. We're making things much simpler. I can also grab media and content, which is actually over here somewhere. I think there's videos. I can stretch this as well. I can play that content for you and happily let you see it. But the experience for me is it's upside down. It's quite small for you. So here in itself is where the home grid net comes in, where the standard allows me to actually be able to push content and media around the home very simply. If I drag and drop this here, it will appear behind my head on the large TV. I can grab different content and keep changing that content. I can even grab the content of these 2 wonderful people here, I'm not sure who they are, drag that up there, and lo and behold, you are there too. Razer TV, Brian and Felicia. So how did that happen? Simply by placing my camera onto another surface, or communicating automatically through a base standard that allows us to actually push content media around the home. And this is how the experience of the home should be in the near future, where things are touch-enabled, seamless to operate, and very intuitive. Who needs to know how to actually operate a keyboard or mouse in an operating system in the near future? That shouldn't be a requirement in the near future.
Okay, Des, maybe you can tell me like estimated time of arrival for these future technologies in the home. In 10 years' time, maybe 5 years' time?
Yeah, well, it's really hard to say. I mean, with the standards coming along now through the ITU standards and DLNA type forums and all the actual manufacturers and the chipset manufacturers all coming together, I guess it's not that far away, a couple of years now, where all these standards will actually become one standard and they'll start to communicate to each other. So, through the demonstrations I'll show you later, we can push content seamlessly around the home, from the kitchen to the refrigerator to the actual living room TV and various places like that.
Do you think people will actually benefit from this, though?
I do believe so, yes.
Yeah.
For the reason that it's much more of a seamless, simple to use, and very much an intuitive environment, rather than knowing how to run operating systems and keyboard and mouse and things like that, which is too complex today.
So it seems you won't have to be an IT expert to live in the digital home of the future. We've seen in the last 3 parts of the show how future technologies will work in the home. But how will it help us where we spend most of our time? And that's at the workplace. Stay tuned to part 4 where Felicia shows you how.